up to 3 to 5 minutes. We'll see how we do. At any time, you can come out of this. You could come more into on your hip. Coming down to elbows. More into a deer pose. So just playing with what works you here. Many options in yoga. Puppy pose. Child's pose. And if you feel that you're good, you can always come up and do some more cat-cows. We've got a couple more minutes here. Let's come up to our hands and knees. You can take your 2 blocks in front of your hands here. We're going to come into dangle pose. So, in other words, a forward fold. I like to put my blocks on the highest level. I'm going to bring that right leg forward. Let's just stretch up for a moment. Just let ourselves have a little back bend. Draw that belly in. Exhale, palms come down to the blocks. You're going to come off the back foot and come forward. So coming into your forward fold. So I like to bring my legs a little bit wider. You can even bring them as wide as you need to. Bend through the knees, let the head come down. Arms rest on the blocks. You can move them ahead, allowing the shoulders to release. And I admit this can be a little bit tough in the beginning because it's getting into the hamstring. So let's inhale, come into a halfway lift. And then just rock from one leg to the other, bending one knee and then the other. Yeah, little creaks and pops. Good, breathing here. Another big inhale, and your exhale, soften back into dangle. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, dangle. Get the belly rest on the thighs. And I know this is challenging. Inhale, halfway lift. You can always stay here and make this your dangle, but just soften into the elbows. And then just let the head hang. You're still getting into the hamstrings. But if you're coming higher, I would bring the feet a little bit closer together. If you're in this high Halfway lift, and you want to sink back down, you just take a big inhale and exhale, soften the knees, the elbows, the head. You're really gonna feel this into the back hamstrings, into the glutes. Our glutes get very tight. If you don't want hands on the blocks, you can bring hands down to the floor. So this is the only real standing somewhat pose that you're not on your mat seated Indian. Good. Halfway lift. Inhale up. Take a break here. Take 5 breaths. Crown of head reaches towards the wall. Soften the shoulders. Let's walk the feet a little bit more forward. Let that right arm dangle down and begin to make little pendulum circles. Getting into myofascial release in the shoulders. So we're gonna go one way and then the other way. Good, bring that hand back up to block. If you don't have blocks, you're going to take one hand to your top of the thigh to support yourself when you let the pendulum, the arm pendulum. We have blocks here, so I'm using the block. You're gonna feel this release into the back of the shoulder blade. And go the other direction. Good. Inhale, bring both palms back to the blocks. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And since we're here, let's take a moment to stand. So just pressing hands into the palms and come up to standing on your mat. Come up into our Tadasana. So root down through the feet, soften knees. Palms face the front of the room or towards the front of your mat. Close the eyes. Let's rock the shoulders up and down. See if they're feeling a little tender and tight. Good. Notice if you can draw up through the belly. And just feel this beautiful moment of standing in one spot. Opening the eyes. We're going to inhale those arms, come all the way out. Just do a nice big stretch. Coming into just a quick palm tree. So palms come together. And the fingers link together and then the palms come up. Beautiful. Lean over to one side. And then the other side. Good. Release the hands down. Nice big inhale and exhale. Bring the hands into Anjali Mudra at your heart center. Come into an affirmation. I am enough. Good. Soften the knees. Begin to come down to the forward fold. You can come down to downward facing dog for a moment or come down to hands and knees. Down dog, you can do walk the dog just to really stretch out the arms and the legs. And here on hands and knees, just come into a few cat-cows. So make your way slowly. Good, you're going to make your way to hands and knees. Take 5 breaths here, just in your cat-cows. We're gonna come over, after those 5 breaths, just come over onto one hip. And come to seated. You're going to bring your soles and your feet together into your butterfly block or a folded blanket. In my case, I could put another fold in the blanket, which helps just the pelvis lean forward slightly. Okay. The soles of feet come together. Let's just do a little bit of movement here by flapping the legs. 10, 18. Good. Nice tall seat here. Reach through the tips of the ears. We're gonna slowly round forward. So you can even use your blocks here. I like to then rest my elbows on blocks and let my chin come towards heart. This allows me to feel supported. So in yin, we're not drawing those feet too close to the groin. We're just bringing them out slightly. Another option, which is nice if you want more support, you can place your head on your bolster and still have arms rest on the blocks. So we are going to be here for a little bit. So make yourself comfortable. And breathe. A beautiful hip opener. Also getting into the inner thighs. So by having the arms and head rested, this is a static forward fold. So if you have any kind of SI joint injuries, we want to support ourselves and not go too deep into forward folds. You want to be supported. Have a deep inhale here. Deep exhale. Soften a little bit more deeper. Again, deep inhale. Deep exhale. And soften. Letting the spine round here. Maybe you can even drop those blocks if you're using them down to the second level. Maybe you don't need the blocks at all. And slowly make our way up. Extend your legs out in front of you. Give them a shake. Good. From here, we're going to come into our dragonfly, which is bringing the legs wide. Again, you don't have to go too wide. I'm going to come so my sit bones are kind of on the edge of either a full block or my blanket. I'm going to keep those feet active. I'm going to use my bolster here on my head, or you can just use your hands if you don't have a bolster just to come slightly forward. My hamstrings are really tight today, so I won't make it too deep. So I want to keep those feet active. If you have any kind of knee injury, you place something under the knee. But honestly, it's just about feeling that sensation. So it may not, you may even just be able to sit up straight and feel it. That's totally fine. That's where you're feeling it. Allow the feet to relax. You can sit tall. You can just slightly bend forward. Placing and that may be this where you'll notice I won't talk as much in these longer holds. Allowing yourself to sink. You'll notice honestly, by minute 3, the mind and body begin to settle. Beautiful. Deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the shoulders. Maybe you can move the bolster a little further. Almost coming to that 3-minute mark. Notice if the body's starting to get fidgety. Just come back to your breath to anchor you back to your practice. Keep softening through the air. Way up to seated. Release that. Let's take our legs over top of the bolster. Or if you have a pillow at home, place a pillow underneath. Coming into caterpillar. I'm going to rock from one sit bone to the next. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, just let yourself kind of fall forward. So it doesn't have to be deep here. Just letting those hips come back into alignment. So more inward. Inward. There's a poem I want to read to you called Just for Now. It's by Dana Foltz. Just for now, without asking how, let yourself sink into stillness. Just for now, lay down the weight so you patiently bear upon your shoulders. Feel the earth receive you and the infinite expanse of the sky grow even wider as your awareness reaches up to meet it. Just for now, allow the breath to enliven your experience. Breathe out whatever blocks your truth. Just for now, be boundless, free, and awakened. Energy tingling in your hands and feet, what you really are. So fully alive that the world looks different. Newly born and vibrant, just for now. Take 3 more breaths here. You need to come up to seated. You can come up to a nice tall seat. We're going to make our way down onto our backs. So coming off of anything you're sitting on, you can place that behind your head for head support. You can leave this bolster if you need it underneath the knees. And I'm coming, so my knees are bent. I'm just scooching down to the elbows. Good, and then coming down onto the back. Draw those knees into the belly. And then draw the knees wide. We're gonna do some hip circles so the knees come away from each other. My hands are on knees. And then just doing those hip circles towards and away from each other, one way, and then going the other way, massaging those hip flexors. Good, bring your feet down to the earth into your constructive rest. Just take a moment to settle on the earth. You're going to extend that right leg up towards the sky and cross it over top of left. So coming into our twisted root pose. Bring arms nice and wide, palms can face down. Press down to that left foot and just draw your hips slightly over to the right, just a tiny bit. You're going to feel that the knees naturally want to just start dropping down towards the left. You're going to complete this twist by looking towards the right hand. If you feel like this is too deep, you can take that bolster, place it underneath the knees. Right now, it's my right side of my ankles kind of resting. My shoulders are nicely rooted to the mat. Twisted root pose. Breathe deeply. Let's take 5 more breaths here. Long inhales, slow, relaxed exhales. You can even gather your palms, making a gentle fist on your inhale, and exhale, opening the palms. The palms, back of the hands remain on the floor. So I'm literally just gathering my hands into a little fist and then opening my palms nice and wide. So for me, I'm on my 5th breath. Exhaling, opening the palms nice and wide, widening the fingers. Draw head back to center. Bring the knees back to center. Extend that right leg up towards the sky. Drop it back down on the earth. We're going to press into just a little baby bridge to reset the sacrum on the earth. Good, arms come wide again. This time palms are down. You're gonna inhale, left foot up. Like you're crossing your legs in a chair. Down to that right foot. Bringing the hips just a slight inch maybe towards the left. And then lead the legs gently. You want to move towards the right. And again, you can use a block to kind of place to help bring the floor up to you. And then turning your head towards the left. And option here to keep the palms on the floor, or palms can face towards the sky and letting the fingers gently curl up. So I find if I use a prop, I can rest into this pose. Whereas if I'm kind of leaving my legs dangling up, I begin to side. So knees for me are going to the left. Shoulder blades are resting on the mat. Breathing in. Breathing out. Soften the belly, soften the shoulders. And of course, if this is not comfortable for your head, you can just keep your head in center with chin towards the sky, gently just allowing the chin to drop slightly towards the heart. Sometimes it doesn't feel as comfortable to turn the head. Just take 5 more breaths here. Long inhale, slow relax. With breath and breathing in, exhaling through the nose. Gradually bring the knees up, other foot down, coming into constructive rest. Bring hands to belly, lift up into baby bridge, hips come up towards the sky. If you wish, you can stay here for a moment. This will be our last pose before Shavasana. Another option for last pose before Shavasana is taking that block underneath the hips and being in supported bridge pose, which is also wonderful. Just coming into a really gentle inversion before we release into Shavasana. If you're here, you may want to take that blanket from behind the head and release it, allowing the head to be directly on the mat. You don't want to cause any kind of cranking of the neck here. Another option for inversion is bringing those feet up towards the sky, into waterfall, or even coming into supported cloud pose, where you gather the legs towards you. You can clasp behind the thighs. So a lot of options here for your last pose before Shavasana. Good, 5 more breaths here. In through the nose, on the count of 1. Exhale. Breathe in for 2. Exhale. Breathe in for 3. Exhale. Breathe in for 4. Exhale. Breathe in for 5. And exhale. Making your way down slowly. So if you're in waterfall or cloud, you're going to gradually bend the knees, bring the feet down towards the earth, press up through the hips, lifting off the block, and remove that block. And let's set up for our Shavasana. So today, we're going to take the bolster underneath. Or you can come into any version of your Shavasana. Sometimes it's nice to even take a block and tip the bolster so it just slightly tips forward. You can even roll a blanket and place it on the other side of the bolster. So it's kind of just supporting you as you come down. You can cover yourself in a blanket. And it's just beautiful to have the legs supported, arms come down. You have an eye pillow, you can use an eye pillow. We come back to our natural breath. Take deep breaths in. Deep breath out, big sigh. Relax the forehead, the jaw, heart, belly. The knees are supported. Ankles are relaxed. The whole front body melts into the back body. We melt down into Shavasana.
When you see the ocean of the lake, you see yourself. Nature is a manifestation of God. That manifestation is not
And slowly we make our way back from the spaciousness of Shavasana, coming back to the breath, coming back to the sounds in the room, beginning to make small movements, so wiggling toes and fingers, rocking head from side to side. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And as you feel ready, you will make your way over to your right or left side, your choice today. Bring yourself into that pose of new beginnings. Your knees draw towards you, your head resting on your arm. And I ask you now just to bring in what your thought of gratitude. I am grateful for. I'm grateful for family, for grandchildren, for friends, for yoga, whatever that is. I'm grateful for the teachers before me. And once this is complete, you make your way up to seated at the front of your mat. You can then, once you're there, close your eyes, bring your hands into Anjali Mudra at your heart center. Nice tall seat. We'll end our practice with one single Om. Inhaling. Om. Dropping your chin towards heart. With much gratitude from my heart to each of your hearts. Thank you so much for coming to Yin Yoga this morning. Namaste. Namaste. Namaste.